welcome to First of His Name podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Sheldon Calhoun, aka Lord Sheldon.
I am your co-host, Antonio Scott, aka Sir Tone Roy.
And right now we're gonna do a little recap of the last episode, which was entitled "You Win or You Die." And
you
in
win
that,
or you die.
in that,
Season
in that
1, episode 7.
episode 7, season 1, and in that episode, small recap: Ned confronts Cersei about her secrets. John takes his vows at the Night's Watch, and Khal Drogo promises the Dothraki that he will be leading them to King's Landing, a promise he made to his unborn son that he has with Daenerys.
Gotcha.
And this episode, episode 8, entitled "The Pointy End."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We will be covering this episode. Sir Tone Roy, would you like to start us off?
Definitely. So we open with Arya sparring with Syrio Farrell. Yeah, Syrio Farrell. The dancing master of Bravos.
Yeah.
Yes. But while they're simultaneously sparring, it also shows the Lannister army, the Night's Watch, the City Watch, and the Kingsguard just literally slaughtering
every
Stark man that was there in King's Landing. It kind of goes back and forth with Arya and Syrio sparring, and it all culminates in Meryn Trant and some men of the Lannisters army coming in to retrieve, I guess you can say, Arya. And from there, you can pick that up if you like.
Yeah, from there you see, like you said, Sir Meryn Trant coming in with about 4 Lannister soldiers, telling Arya Stark that her father is looking for her, and she's about to go along with it until Syrio Farrell stops her and asks the question that we all wonder: why is Lord Eddard Stark sending Lannister men in place of his own? Because he got Stark men all around King's Landing. So she then is like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't have to go with you if I don't want to. And my father wouldn't have sent you. You know what I mean? He would have sent, somebody like Jory, R.I.P. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Somebody like that.
He would have sent the Northerner. He would have sent the
Exactly.
Stark bannerman, a Stark man that he had at King's Landing with him. And both Syrio and Arya, of course, figured that out and knew that. And that culminates in a battle. Syrio tells Arya to go find your father.
As he takes out 4 Lannisters with just a sparring sword, not even a sparring sword, a wooden sparring sword.
True, but the unfortunate part about that dancing master shit is it's a wooden sparring sword. So it initially looks like he kicked some ass, which he did. Don't get me wrong.
He did,
but he gave him some bumps and bruises.
Yeah, no, he didn't
knocked
cause
one or two of them out. He didn't cause no damage.
Yeah,
so now it turns into a real battle with Meryn Trant. He put out a sword and a dagger, and they just go at it. And poor Syrio.
The wooden sword was broken.
Yeah, he smashed that in half.
As Arya was running off, so we don't know what happened with Syrio for real.
True,
we don't know what happened with him. We
don't know.
His sword was broken and Arya ran off. That's all we seen from that last one. So yeah, the next scene, if I'm not mistaken, we have Varys and Lord Eddard speaking in the dungeon.
I think you skipped over something. We got some quick ones. You know how they had those fast scenes.
Okay.
Sansa is confronted by the Hound.
You're right, absolutely.
And she says, don't hurt me, I'll tell the Queen. And the Hound was like, who do you think sent me?
Right. So Sansa
that was a quickie.
By the Hound.
That was a quick one. And then you have Arya retrieving Needle from the stables. And which leads to
the title of our episode, The Pointy End, which she then stuck the pointy end into some kid that was trying to capture her and take her to the Queen for a reward. So
yeah, exactly. And just to kind of elaborate a small bit on the pointy end. The full flashback to a sir when John gave her needle. He asked her if she knows how to use it, and she said yeah. And he said, "Well, just make sure you stick him with the pointy end."
Exactly.
You know, and that means
That's where
something
all of
because,
this
of
ties
course,
in.
that's
Yeah.
where the title comes from. Everything ties in, and Needle is a character in itself in this entire series. Honestly,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely.
And then we head to Ned in the dungeon with Lord Varys.
Okay, yeah. So Varys is pretty much giving him updates on everything that's happened since he was captured in the throne room. Uh, Lord Varys tells him that Sansa is, close by the queen, still engaged to Joffrey. Tells him that Arya is nowhere to be found. Even his little birds can't find them. And
Mm-hmm.
and if Varys' little birds can't find them, then they really know where to be found because Varys is like his job is being the master of
The
whispers. So
Master of Whispers. That's his official title, actually.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah. So he tells Lord Eddard Stark about what's going on. Lord Eddard is, he's thinking that he's good because he still thinks that Lady Catelyn, his wife, is still uh uh uh
As Tyrion.
has Tyrion imprisoned. But Varys, lets him know that Tyrion escaped the Lady Stark's, capture somehow. After he hears that, his hope goes all the way down. Like
Yeah. Right before that, though, this is the scene where Varys asks him, Ned, what madness possessed you to inform the queen that
that
you
you knew.
knew the truth about Joffrey's birth?
Mm-hmm.
And Ned responded with the madness of mercy,
Yeah, thinking
right?
that he might save her children.
Thinking that she may flee and protect her children. But Varys in turn responds with, well, it wasn't the wine
Or the boy.
or the boar that killed King Robert. It was your madness. Your mercy is what what killed King Robert,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which
Absolutely.
alludes obviously to the fact that once Cersei knew what Ned knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
The setup happens.
That's when, yeah, I believe she found that out. She found out that he knew the truth while Robert, if I'm not mistaken, was on his hunt.
Right. That
And
was very
she
true.
had already set up the
With Lancel, I believe.
exactly. She
Somewhere.
already set up to play with Lancel for him to
Exactly.
keep feeding him the wine, and we delving into the spoiler section, but you get it.
Yeah, we all understand it. That's when basically Varys tells Ned, you're a dead man.
Yeah,
You know this, right? Like
yeah.
it's over for you. And then that's when he reveals that Cat lost Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the conversation goes. That's what it's like you said, he felt he was safe at least knowing that they had that chip.
Yeah, but now since he found out that obviously Catelyn doesn't have Tyrion anymore, he knows that his chances of staying alive are slim to none now.
Slim to none. He know basically repent, I guess you can say, bend the knee, beg for mercy in a way. That's the only thing at that
Yeah,
point that makes
his
sense.
options are very limited at this
Very
point.
limited. Right.
That's when Lord Eddard asks Varys, who does he truly serve? Because he mentioned to Varys that you saw my men being slaughtered in the throne room and did nothing. You just sat there and did nothing. And Varys told him, and I would again. I was outnumbered,
Yeah.
unarmed,
He said,
and
look at me. Do you
yeah,
take
like do,
me as
do
a
you see
man
a
of
hero
courage?
when you
Like
look
you
at
see a
me?
hero, right? Exactly. Like, what do you see when you look at me, bro? Yeah, I'm a eunuch. Y'all make fun of me for it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a bald little pudgy man. I'm not
And
no warrior. I'm not a knight of the king's guard. I'm
none of
no,
that.
no,
And
no,
that's when
no.
he asked Varys, like, who do you truly serve? Like, and that's when Varys answered, the realm.
There we
Someone
go.
must. I was like, oh
Some
wow, that's
yeah.
that's quite a quote.
That's right at the end of that scene is where that happens as he leaves the dungeon from it. And then from there, we get the wall.
Yep. Next back at Castle
This is where the
Black.
Night's Watch bring back the dead at Castle Black. They bring in the bodies of the Rangers who died.
Yeah.
When they went out looking for.
And also, real quick, I just wanted to point out the fact that these were former Night's Watchmen who was a part of the party that was sent out with Benjamin Stark.
The Rangers, yeah.
They were a part of the ranging party that was sent out with Benjamin Stark.
So yeah, these were actually men of the Night's Watch that they found. They didn't find Benjamin. And Sam points out a specific detail.
Yeah.
About them not smelling
because
they had been out there for a while.
They've been out there for a while, and if dead bodies are out for a while, then rot would begin to happen. And Lord Commander Mormont commented on the fact that he may be a coward, but he's very smart.
He's no fool, exactly. Yep. John suggested that they burn the bodies, but Lord Commander Mormont stated that he wanted Maester Aemon to examine the bodies first. So they took them to upstairs into the barracks, and Lord Commander Mormont was informed that Maester Aemon had a raven form from King's Landing. So the very next scene, I believe.
No, you are on point.
Yep. The raven from King's Landing. The next scene is Mormont in his quarters. He tells John to pour him a cup of ale and one for himself. He informs John that Lord Eddard Stark has been charged with treason, and he's being held captive in the dungeon. They learn that the king is dead and Joffrey is the new king, and that John was charged with treason. John reads the raven and attempts to walk away, like walk out. He was ready to go. He's like he was ready to go jump on the horse and go.
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready to go join whatever was going on to get his father back.
Yeah, and from there, that's when, and because he inquired about his sisters. But just Mormont just stopped him and reminded him of his oath.
Yeah, he reminded him of his duty to the Night's Watch.
To the Night's Watch. You know, he took the black. He took the oath. So now, you know, you are no longer beholden to none of that.
They sworn to play no parts.
No parts. You are not even a lord anymore, technically. You know,
I don't think he was never a lord, but
no, I'm saying no. He was Lord Stark. Snow. I mean, Lord Snow. Yeah, but they used to just call him that because Alice used to call him that. Just being
because he grew up in the castle.
Because he grew up in the castle and had teachers who taught him how to fight and real knights and warriors. The next scene is Pycelle, Cersei, Littlefinger, and Varys telling Sansa that Ned is a traitor, and they kind of bashing her.
Pretty much the whole small council. The whole small council was just going in on her father.
And Sansa pleads for her father again.
Of course.
Well, no, this is the first time she pleads for her father that we see. And the conversation, it kind of goes back and forth. It jumps from Pycelle chiming in to Littlefinger, Varys. Cersei finally says she wanted her to write a letter to her brother and her mother, telling them to
come to King's Landing and bend the knee.
Fealty to King Joffrey, bend the knee, and no harm will come to anyone. You know, which we know was
a ploy.
A ploy, a big old trap, you know, which is what they wanted anyway. Sansa actually wanted to speak to her father, and Cersei just flat out denied it. She actually made the girl feel bad or tried to make her feel a certain way by telling her
speak to her father. Why would you want to
speak to a traitor? Yeah, like, and in my mind, I'm just thinking every time I see that, I'm just like, this manipulative fucking lady, man. Yeah. This a child. Sansa ain't a bit but 12, 13.
Yeah, she like 12 on
something like young as hell. Arya running around 8, 9 years old. Like, man, it's that part of Cersei always, it don't matter what happens, or what happened later, that part always rubbed me the wrong way with her.
I believe
He has
next
the
we
right
back in
to let her.
Winterfell.
Yep, with Rob and Lewin and Theon speaking about the same Raven from King's Landing.
They just received the Raven telling, explaining to him that he has to come to King's Landing and bend the knee. But he then tells Maester Lewin that, yeah, I go to King's Landing, but not by myself. Call all the banners.
All the bannermen, all of them.
He called every last one of them. Well, actually, he said call the banners, and Maester Lewin responded with all of them. And then he said, well, didn't all of them swear that they was going to defend my father?
There you
go.
Well,
call all of them then.
He said he was gonna, if he's gonna show up, he go get them all. And at
Call
the end of that scene, right before it ends, Theon and Rob speak, and it's like a conversation about are you afraid?
Yeah.
And Rob was like, yeah, really, yeah, I kind of am. And Theon was like,
I'm shaking. I must be.
Yeah, like you'd be a fool if you weren't.
Exactly.
And that's what it was like a little pep talk in a way, in my opinion, of him letting them know that being afraid is good, and knowing that you're smart enough to be afraid is why the bannermen and people will follow you.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. And then a great visual, I believe, one of the many great visuals in this episode, let alone the series, is all those fucking ravens leaving Winterfell at the end of that scene.
Yeah.
That shit looked like some Children of the Corn, where it was crows, ravens,
and that's how you know
birds.
Everybody in the north is being called to come fight.
Everybody got a raven being called up to stand on their oath and bring all your people, because it's about to go down, and we're about to head for King's Landing.
It's about to go down.
You already know. Next, we back at the Vale, where Kat confronts Lysa about not letting her know about that raven that came earlier.
Yeah. It
was nighttime at this point, and Lysa had received it in the morning.
Yeah, she received it during the day, and she wasn't informed until the nighttime that her husband had just been imprisoned. Her daughters was captured. Well, in her mind,
there's all three of them. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like you just now telling me this, and now that she confronted you, you upset with me because I'm confronting you. And as that conversation went on, Catelyn was pretty much asking her to, start rounding up the men of the Vale so we can, start to go defend my husband, your brother, by law.
By law, that's your brother, exactly. So Lysa's response was what?
She refused.
She refused. She
told her she's always welcome here, and it's just a bunch of BS that just didn't make sense to me, because why are you not trying to defend your sister's honor or your sister's husband's honor?
Lysa's a freaking weirdo and half tilt, but she had made a good point.
Oh, she made an excellent point.
She said, they killed my husband. You said that they pushed your child out of the window. They will stop at nothing, and I'm meant to protect Robin. That was her goal. The Knights of the Vale will stay in the Vale, is what she ultimately told Catelyn when she wanted her to, get the Knights of the Vale ready to go and meet up with Rob's army. And well, I don't know if she knew at the time or if they mentioned it, but it was basically that.
Yeah,
it's like calling the banners.
She just wanted her sister to be ready to, to be on her side, which at the time, for whatever reason, like you just said, she wanted to protect Robin, so she didn't proceed with the plan of action.
Yeah, yep. She wouldn't go. She wasn't going, which I get it, but at the same time, I understand where Kat was coming from.
Okay, so we understand both sides.
Yeah, it was clear.
From there, if I'm not mistaken, we see Bronn and Tyrion walking through the woods.
Yeah, they actually attempting to leave the Vale, and they have a conversation about sell swords and friendship, and why would Bronn step up for Tyrion. That let Tyrion know that he can be bought, but he also told him if anyone ever offers to kill him, he'll beat or double it because he just loved living that much.
Exactly.
I know what you are. I know who you are. You know, you would make a good friend. He basically told Brian, you would make a good friend because you're loyal, but you have a dollar amount that you work on too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
he would value his friendship, but he just, he's more attracted to the way he can handle himself.
There we go, which benefits Tyrion.
Which benefits Tyrion for sure.
Definitely. And from there they walk off. He walks off whistling. He happy as hell because he out of that sky dungeon. Exactly. Right.
But he finds himself right back in another situation.
But this political, he good. That talk, man, he good because we get Shagar.
He got the gift of gab.
Yeah, exactly. So Tyrion is asleep. And Bronn wakes him. They frying a goat. I'm not frying a goat, but they cooking a goat. They chilling. Tyrion laying down, sleep. And Bronn like, man, wake up. We got company.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out it's Shagar, son of Dolph, of the Stone Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He say, how would you like to die? And this, we heard it 3 or 4 times. Maybe in the series, but this response from Tyrion, I'll just quote it. He says, in my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth wrapped around my cock.
I don't see any better way of leaving this earth.
Oh my God. The combination of and the specificity of in my own bed, which means I don't want to die right here, right now. At the age of 80,
years
down the line, right? Because we had to guess how old you think Tyrion is. Mid-20s, right?
Like early 30s, because I think Jaime and Cersei was like 40 years old apiece.
Okay, so he early, because they was old enough to
older
talk.
than him, but they was definitely older than him.
I'm thinking like, somewhere set because they was old enough to walk, talk. Cersei was supposedly choking them or smothering them or some shit. She couldn't have did that at 2 years old.
No, they were probably like 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Okay, so that would make Tyrion early 30s. You're right. Yeah. That makes sense. I forgot Jaime and Cersei were in their 40s, and they
remember they mentioned
they were twins.
Remember they mentioned they mentioned Jaime's age when he got from King's Landing or whatever. So
okay, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
They mentioned his age. Well, I'm sorry, Joffrey mentioned his age.
Oh, with the book.
Yeah, there you
when
go.
They was talking about his deeds.
There you go.
Got you. Tyrion gives Shagger. I keep saying Shagar because of the way I wrote it. I wrote it with a Ghar. But yeah, Shagger, son of Dolph of the Stone Crow. He offered him a proposition. Shagger. Go ahead.
Pretty much manages to convince them to fight with him for riches and land. He told them that the Knights of the Vale want him dead, and they've been into it with the Knights of the Vale since they've been in the Hill tribes. Because every time the Knights of the Vale ride past, the Hill tribes scatter off into their little corners or whatever. So he knows that they have a problem with the Knights of the Vale, just like he does. So he tells them, if y'all help me defeat the Knights of the Vale, I'll give y'all this, which is the lands that the men of the Vale stay on now. Which if they can, beat the Knights of the Vale, then they're gonna be promised this land and riches.
Right. He commented about them having them the weapons, the bad weapons. He
commented on how terrible their weapons are. The steel that they got is old, and he told them that Lannister Smith's shit's better steel, which was insulting to Shagger, son of Dolph, and he gave him a little cut on the cheek.
My bad. That popped on. I did not mean that popped.
You good. But so from there, where Tyrion manages to save his life as well as Bran's, and has the Hill tribesmen marching with him, From there, we go back to Castle Black, where John and Pip and Sam are sitting there plucking chickens. They sitting there plucking chickens for the Night's Watch, and
right in the
at
kitchen.
At this point, Sir Alistair he confronts Jon Snow, because he just heard
he chides me, egging him on.
He just heard the news like Jon did, so he does that. He comes over and tries to provoke Jon, which he does, which he accomplishes, because he tells Jon that not only do we see a traitor, or I'm sorry, not only is he a bastard son, but a bastard son that's a traitor.
Traitor, yeah, he's the son. The bastard is the son of the traitor.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that, you know, that the fire in Jon's eyes, you can see it, his body language, and he grabbed that blade, man. He went to go at him.
He tried to take Sir Alistair out, but he was stopped by Pip.
If it wasn't for Grin and Pip, Grin and Pip grabbed him quick.
Sir Alistair was finished.
He that's what he wanted, man. He knew what he was doing. It doesn't matter Jon's reaction, because he's beneath Jon in his eyes, and he's a bastard, and then he's the son of a traitor. It just makes it more and more Lord Snow, like, you know, just egging him on and just basically messing with him just because he can. You know what I mean? Jon hasn't been giving him a real reason to not like him, other than the same thing he said. He grew up in a castle and he had actual training, and he don't like him because of that, you know, but it's part of, you know, it's part of the deal for Jon being up at the Night's Watch.
He learning as he go.
So okay, then Mormont comes in and confines Jon to his quarters. Because
pretty much put him on punishment.
Basically sent him to his room.
Yeah.
Without dinner type shit. Yeah. Next scene is Ghost freaking out in the quarters in Jon's room. Jon goes to investigate. He goes to Lord Mormont's Lord Commander Mormont's quarters, and he's approached by, I don't know if they ever said his name, but the White Walker that was a former ranger.
Hofar, if I'm not mistaken.
That was it. Hofar. Okay.
Because when they brought him back into King's Landing, he was like, "Oh, that's Hofar for sure."
Oh, and Castle Black, yeah.
I'm sorry, Castle Black. My bad. When they brought him back into Castle Black, he said, "Oh, that's Hofar for sure." And then they mentioned the other guy's name, the one that had his hand tore off by the wolf. So Hofar, he's approached by Hofar,
the bald dude, the big baller. And then he's attacked. Jon's attacked. He grabbed him. Jon stabbed him a couple times with his dagger. No effect. Don't work.
Nothing.
He put the entire sword through him, and it knocked him down. No, when he put the sword through him, it knocked him down.
He did fall.
He fell. Yeah. But he got back up. His eyes popped up.
And he pulled the sword out like it was.
He just pulled it out like, what is this? Like he's pulling a thread off of him or something light, something small.
Like it was a piece of lint.
Yeah. And Lord Commander Mormont comes in with the lantern.
Yep.
Jon grabbed it with the bare hand. You hear the sizzle. And he throw it and burn him.
And burnt his hand.
And he burnt his hand, but he also,
as well as the guy who just tried to attack
Hofar. Yeah, he burned up Hofar, and that ended that. But Mormont was able to see it for himself, as well as Jon seeing it for himself the first time after all the urban legends or whatever. Yeah, a dead man that he just stabbed 5 times in the neck, in the gut. He caught him in the chest, I think, or somewhere up top.
Man, listen.
And he was dead already when they brought him back.
They brought him in.
He brought him back, he dead, and then you stabbed him. He fell to the ground. You thinking dead. He popped back up. Fire. That's the only other thing. He had no Valyrian steel. He had no dragon glass or nothing. The wildling way, exactly. And the next scene is the Dothraki pillaging a village and taking whatever they want. Yeah. The treasures, the valuables, the women.
I'm sorry. I also want to mention the fact that they doing this because of the promise that Drogo just made to Daenerys and her.
That's what Daddy said. Daenerys says, "I thought the Dothraki didn't value money." And Jorah tells her,
They don't, but in
it's to
order to get
buy
ships.
it's to buy the ships for Westeros that was promised.
Exactly.
She not liking that. She
But
tries
yeah,
to tell them to stop.
you know,
And they like,
Daenerys
this is
apparently isn't pleased with the way they do things.
right, because she don't like what's going on, but she don't understand that this comes from the call. First of all, this is from Khal Drogo, right? Plus, it's what they can do to give her what she wants.
Exactly.
They can't go to freaking the
King's
Bank of
Landing.
Bravos. Ain't that what it? The Bank of Bravos?
Oh yeah. No, they can't get to the Bank
They
of
can't
Bravos.
go get no loan on their
ain't no
horses and
loans
they
coming.
Dothraki rags.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So this is how they do. They pillage, but on top of the pillaging is the extra violence, and then the raping of the women and just taking, like that. Which they all get they kind of saw. They get to have they Dothraki. They get to have multiple wives. They take them. You my wife now. Come on. That's the way they go. So she tries to tell them to stop, and they said that the Dothraki earned the treasures with their blood sacrifice. They've lost men and blood, so this is part of it, as well as it's from Khal Drogo. Plus, it's what is needed in order to get to Westeros.
Right.
They got to be able to buy those ships, so they need to be able to snatch up every valuable and treasure that they can along the way. Right? And where did that lead us next?
After that, after Daenerys isn't pleased with the way they do things, you then see Daenerys approaching Khal Drogo as he's talking to one of his blood riders, and his blood rider, his blood rider is upset with the way Daenerys is telling him that he can't have his earnings. So,
and initially, Drogo agreed with Mago.
Absolutely.
He agreed with him initially. Yeah, he agreed with him, and he told Daenerys the same thing. Like, this is what they earned this. This is theirs for the taking, and we take shit. So this is what we go do, right? And Daenerys expressed her displeasure, and she put a claim on the women. Because she didn't like the way all of them. She claimed every single one of them, and Mago was like, that ain't the way it go. You don't lead me. I'm not listening to the horse riding whore, whatever he called her. And then that turned the conversation between him and Khal Drogo into an entirely different thing. Yeah. And
Daenerys convinces Khal Drogo to, pretty much be on her side. And when Khal Drogo tells Mago, his blood rider, that he has to, find somewhere else to stick his cock, his words, not mine. Mago is visibly upset. He spits on the ground right in front of Drogo, disrespecting him. So this then turns into a whole thing now where Ojos, one of his other blood riders, tried to step up and defend Khal Drogo's honor, but Khal Drogo told him, "No, I got it. Relax, I got it."
And he told him that
Drogo stands up. And as soon as he stands up, Mago sticks the blade right here in the shoulder and causes a cut. Causes some type of some type of damage right here, and he walks through it as if it doesn't even hurt him.
Right?
It's not even there
because it really wasn't. It really wasn't.
Khal Drogo is a big dude.
He's a big dude, strong.
With not to mention the fact that he has the longest braid.
The longest braid, which means he's seen much battle.
Never lost a fight.
Never.
So for Mago to even attempt this, he must be very upset. But we clearly see Drogo overpower Mago.
Right, but right quick. Hold on. Before that, you remember once Othos stepped back, Drogo told Mago, "I'm not gonna burn your body.
Right.
I'm not gonna let you go to the heavens, the afterlife, with the rest of the Khalasar. I'm gonna bury you. I'm gonna leave you right where you are, and you go rot. And you don't. my point of bringing that up is I'm not gonna burn your body. Is a specific way of saying I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna die, and when I do kill you, I'm not gonna allow for your spirit to have peace for your
Exactly.
soul afterlife. And then he went Matrix on his ass.
Yeah,
He was dodging, like you say,
dodged every
dipping and
swing
dodging, spinning, pulling out the blades, and
and
eventually,
ultimately ended up snatching that man's throat out along with his tongue.
yep, cut his throat, and then reached up in there, snatched it out, held it up to the commissar,
And his tongue was attached.
and his tongue was still attached. He pulled it out up through like that, and then just threw it in the pile. Old dead, I didn't know what it was, like pig meat or whatever it was they had.
It was severed heads.
That's what it was. Yeah, it looked like pig skin, but it was severed heads. Yeah.
Right after the fight, the cow is obviously wounded. What we just mentioned, his cut on the shoulder. And Daenerys calls on a healer to come help him,
The God's wife.
Know. Yeah, which
Miri,
one of the people she claimed, which she didn't know was ultimately a witch. Drogo is convinced by her somehow to let her, let the healer stitch him up. But Ojos was adamant about the fact that this lady is a witch. We don't want her touching my cow.
He didn't even want her talking too much. She got the talking and talking, and he bopped her ass like, the witch's words can poison your ears.
Exactly.
He knew. He didn't even want to be, that's kind of spoiler alert a little bit. But Miri stood up to say she can help heal, and Daenerys didn't understand what was going on the way everybody else probably did, the other Dothraki. So she allowed her to step up and go to treating or to attempt to treat Khal Drogo's wound.
Thank you, Silver Lady.
Yeah, she's all meek and happy. I know, but we'll see that later. We'll see more of that later, I'll say. Right. Okay, so the next scene is Robb speaking to his bannermen.
In the north, we sitting at the tables.
Back in the north, sitting in Winterfell. Lord Umber.
This is when we see the Great John speaking to Robb Stark, telling him and trying to convince him that he should be the one leading the vanguard. The vanguard is like the front lines.
The front line, like infantry, what we would call it in the military terms nowadays.
For sure.
So Lord Umber wants to lead the vanguard, and Robb tells him Glover's gonna lead the vanguard. He don't like that.
He tells him the wall would melt before Umber marches behind a Glover.
Yeah, he was not having that.
Yeah, so he was.
And Robb was still like, nope, this is what we gonna do.
Yeah, he was unhappy about that. The Great John was, and he pretty much threatened Robb Stark and told him that if he's not the one that's leading the vanguard, then he gonna take his men and he gonna march home with him. Robb Stark told him, "Well, you more than welcome to do so. And when I'm done with the Lannisters, I'm gonna come back north, root you out of your keep, and hang you for an oath breaker." That's when Great John stood up and was visibly highly upset. Oath breaker, is it? And reached for his weapon. And as he reached for his weapon, Robb's direwolf shot a
great win.
And snatched these two off.
Both of them gone. He's standing there. He's standing there holding. This shit bleeding, gone. It's down here to the nub.
Just down to the nubs.
Man, he holding that shit like, what'd he say?
Oathbreaker, is it? But the Robb Stark saved his life and told him, like, my father told me it was death to bear steel against your liege lord. But undoubtedly, the Great John only meant to cut my meat for me.
Yeah, he switched it up a little bit. Like I'm gonna that's like a reprieve, really.
Yeah, that's
everybody knew what that action mean when he go to reach for his steel. You know what I'm saying?
That's when the Great John got up and he came to his senses because he saw all these Northmen like, damn, you know what, man, I might need to get in line.
You had to do it quick, fast too.
I might need to get in line. So yeah, they straightened that out quickly. They straightened that out quickly. If I'm not mistaken, after that scene, we see Rob Stark going to tell Bran that they about to march off in the middle of the night. You know, to get the
Yeah,
upper
that they
hand,
heading out.
to get the upper
The,
hand on the
the
Lannisters.
I mean, he want to get the strategic advantage on the Lannisters,
Exactly.
and if they go battle, I mean, they're gonna head for King's Landing, and Bran wants to go, but Rob reminds him
Yeah.
that there must always be a Stark in Winterfell.
Mm-hmm. And now at this point, Bran is the Lord of Winterfell.
He is the Lord of Winterfell, indeed. And once Rob leaves, Rickon walks in, and they speak of their entire family. Rob's leaving. Rickon is like, everyone's gone. Yeah. And Bran is like, don't worry, they'll be back. Sansa, mom, dad, Arya, Rob, they're gonna come back. And Rickon was like, nope, no, they're not. No, they won't. It was like an omen. He knew,
it was something
that something wasn't right.
Something about the Star kids in the future.
Yeah, you already know. They got a certain ear, eye, brain for it. And then that's where we see Bran praying at the Godswood, and I forget her name. Osha. Yeah, Osha, the wildling, comes speaking to him. They kind of it's a lot of banter.
Yeah, they just speaking back and forth
she's saying
about the gods.
That's what the gods, the beliefs, what your beliefs lead you to, what's gonna happen, based on your beliefs.
Telling Bran that the gods can hear their prayers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you listen to the wind, that's the gods talking back.
Yep.
And she also mentioned something that's very important for the future of this show. She mentioned the fact that all of these men marching south should be not marching north.
Yeah.
Because the cold winds are rising.
Right. Yep. Good shit. I'm glad you got that one. Back at the wall, the men of the watch burn the White Walker. And Sam gives a bit of a lesson. And he kind of perks up Jon's ears with a couple of things he says about the Night Walker, the White Walkers. And everyone around is like, tell us more. So Sam just speaks on how the White Walkers were asleep, allegedly, and then they were awakened after the children of men created children of the forest created the Night King. Right. And they said it's always was a rumor that if the White Walkers wake up, that they would need to hope that the wall is high enough to keep them out, which was a urban legend up until what they see now as they're burning a former ranger, a brother of the watch. They're burning his body after he died twice.
Right.
What the fuck? You better burn his ass.
Yeah, do something else. I think he need a different type of fire.
A different type of fire, or kill him a different way. You couldn't even cut his head off and kill him.
Yeah,
the head will still be animated and trying to bite you and do all type of craziness.
Spoiler alert.
Yep. So where we at? Okay.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Tom. You got it from here, G.
Oh no, it's all good. Whatever I bring up, you go remember. You just ain't got the little ticky-tacky notes, but we jump right back into it. So next we got Catelyn and Roderick meeting up with the Rob and the Northern men at their camp, their base camp. Okay. As they speak about Jaime and Tywin's current positioning, their movements, and they try to speak to a strategy of how to either go battle with Jaime and his force, or battle Tywin and his force, which would in essence lead them, because Jaime overrun the Golden Tooth, was it?
The fork, the red fork, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, it's golden something.
Golden
at the River Run in the Riverlands.
It might be the golden tooth.
Finally, that shit came up. Damn. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I don't jot it down. I just watched it, so it feel like it's something. Anyway, they speak on the letter from Sansa. Catelyn asked to speak to Rob by herself, and they speak on the letter sent from Sansa, which Catelyn automatically says, "You mean from the queen?"
From the queen, you mean?
You know, automatically, this is Sansa's words. That's her child. She already knew before she even read the shit.
Exactly.
Right? They point out that there was no mention of Arya. Even as a lie to scare them. We have both your daughters and your son. You know, they just assume, let it be known that Sansa writes the letter speaking of Ned being a treasonous, being charged with treason, and for Rob to come and show fealty and bend the knee to King Joffrey.
Right.
Cat, for a split second, Rob says maybe he should go and bend the knee. Catelyn stops him like, nope. And then Rob was like, yeah, Mom, you right. I'm bugging. Basically, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty
and
much.
She told him that you got to beat him in the field of battle. There's no way. Even the thought of trying to go to King's Landing is a non-starter because they can't succeed from there, right? You can't go. You can think of that and want to do that, especially you got your father in the dungeon, they holding your sister hostage and shit. You don't know what's up with the other sister, right? And Cat tells him he need to fight him in the field of battle. They speaks of Tywin ordering the death of the Targaryen children, remember? Which they thought they didn't realize until they didn't have any dead Targaryen children that Daenerys and Viserys actually got away from King's Landing safely. And of course, that's when Daenerys was a baby, you know, a crib-bound baby.
Still in the crib, yeah.
And she told him that if they lose, that every Stark dies.
And that's when Rob was like, well, that makes it simple then.
That makes it that's simple. We only got the one choice then, right? Right. You know, and from there we got Tyrion and Bronn and the Stone Crow arriving at the Lannister camp.
Okay.
Tyrion is informed by Tywin and his uncle that actually before that, Tyrion introduces the Stone Crows, the Burn Men, and the Black Ears, which I had never heard of the Black Ears before until I just rewatched this episode. It wasn't familiar when they said the girl from the Black Ears, and I was like, the Black Ears?
Yeah, she was in there.
I was like, man, it just didn't. I'm like, see, them little details you can miss, and if you rewatch it, you catch it.
It was that very unattractive lady.
Yeah, with the teeth and shit, fucking looking like some shit from man. Wow, yeah, that was
some shit from Halloween Town High.
Next we got Tywin shaming Tyrion for being captured in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah.
That leads to Tyrion's conversation, or Tyrion stating, my brothers, he's better than me, he's more handsome than me. What do you want me to say? Like, he was like, just tell him, like, oh, you love your golden boy fucking Jamie, and I'm just a piece of shit, whatever. And then that's when Tyrion makes a lets them know. Tywin lets Tyrion know that Ned is being charged with treason and he's in a dungeon. What up?
No, I'm good. I was trying to make sure I'm straight.
That's when Tywin tells Tyrion that Ned is being charged with treason. Tyrion asks,
How did my sweet sister convince King Robert to imprison his friend? And that's when Tyrion learns that, you know, King Robert is dead and Joffrey rules in King's Landing. And that's when he's like, my sister rules, you mean?
Yep. Yep, and he knew it. He said it directly to his father. Tywin informs Tyrion that they've taken over River Run, and they speak of the war with the Starks and the Bannermen from the north. Tyrion tells Tywin of his debt to Shagger and the others. Tywin tells Shagger, if you fight in this battle with me, you'll get everything my son promised to you. And Shagger was like, well,
and more.
He ain't no dummy. He had some thoughts, right? He told them, well, your son already owe us, right?
Only if the half man fights with us.
He has to fight with us until we get what we was promised. Yeah, his life belongs to us. For sure. That's it. That's all, right? Did fight with them. Yep, that's this fight for the what was promised. Now we back to Robb and the Bannerman speaking strategy, and this was the first time Kat brought up the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke of the advantage of what was it, crossing a bridge or something, right?
Yeah, they needed to break the phrase to cross the bridge.
They needed to be able to cross the bridge to have the advantage on Jaime Lannister.
The phrase control the crosses for 600 years.
Right, but I'm saying like based on Jaime's position, he's far away from Tywin. So if they can get with the phrase, get across,
then they'll have the advantage.
They'll have the advantage on Jaime and his part of the army. Got you. And in that moment, Bannermen bring in the captured Lannister scout.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked him, it's funny. It's funny to me how Robb or somebody flipped over the map, like the strategy they had laid out, and Lord Umber, Greybeard, Greyjohn.
The Greyjohn. Yeah.
The Greyjohn was like, don't worry, lad. He won't be leaving here with his head. It was I laughed. I had to pause it for a second just because like the timbre of his voice, the rhythm of the words as well as the words was like, oh, you ain't got to worry about what he saw because he's not leaving here with his head. Exactly. I was like, oh, damn. He already knew.
That was a cold line to say.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite lines from this episode, to be honest with you. I got it highlighted and shit.
Nice.
Robb releases the scout though. He actually, you were about to say he asked him how many. What was your last count, right?
Yeah. How many did he get up to?
How many did you get up to? And he said 20,000, right?
Yeah.
And then Robb says, "Okay, go
and tell Tywin Lannister that 20,000 are coming for him to find out if he really shits gold."
Yeah, he said 20,000 Northerners march south to find out if he really shits gold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, we got to know because that's what people been hearing all in the north and everywhere else. The Lannisters, they shit gold, and
I mean, Tywin Lannister is the richest man in Westeros.
Yeah, been that for a while. On the crown,
the
crown owe him $3 million coins. So what the fuck? Plus all the other money he still got. So from there, Greyjohn disagrees with Robb and he calls him boy.
Mm-hmm.
And in true Robb fashion, he said, "Call me boy again."
Right.
Greyjohn was like, that grizzled little
can't do nothing. This
shit.
This is the liege lord.
It's the liege lord. You already got your one reprieve.
Yeah,
and then you lost 2 fingers. You better into your fucking 3-finger hand.
You better cool it out before you lose another limb, fam.
You walk around like he from the west side. And next we back it was one of those quick flip scenes where we see Ned in the dungeon, and then it's straight to the throne room with Pycelle. Speaking of Joffrey being king, they appointed Tywin as the hand to the king.
Hand of the king.
Yep. And
when Sansa's sitting there begging on her knees for her father's mercy,
she begging with the tears, she's crying.
it's so sad to
Damn.
see that, man, because she is so innocent at this point. Like
Very. She
super
still
duper
said, because they
innocent.
accused her of, this is what it was. They accused her of hatching a plan, and she was like, "No, I love Joffrey. I want to marry him and be a queen like you, Your Grace.
Right, right, right,
I won't hatch anything. I
right.
won't hatch nothing." She is really like, she almost not even understanding what she's saying. She just know that they
Right.
accusing, Pycelle accusing her like, oh, the child of a traitor, being this close to the king. It doesn't protect the realm and blah 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 and all that
Exactly.
shit. And Pycelle is an egger on. He be egging on this shit.
Yeah, we're gonna learn more about him in the spoiler section now.
Yeah, hell yeah. Next we got Cersei dismissing Barristan Selmy,
Which was a bad idea.
which was a very bad idea. He expresses his disagreement.
There you go. I
He
was just gonna
expresses
say
his
he
disagreement.
clearly upset when he get dismissed, and expressed to them that the King's Guard's oath is
Oath
a
for
for life.
life.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? We not,
We don't walk away from the Night's Watch. I mean the Night's
exactly
Guard.
from the
Yeah.
King's Guard. Yeah,
The
like
King's
the
Guard.
only
Damn.
thing that can relieve somebody of their duty is death. So he was like visibly upset, and then he told the rest of the King's Guard, even now I can cut through the five of y'all like I was carving a cake, and it would be
Yeah.
nothing.
Because
I
he went
wouldn't
to
even
rip
break a
off his
sweat.
armor. He ripped off his armor, and then when he went to go unsheath his sword, all of them jumped on guard.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulled the sword out like, even right now, I can cut through all five of y'all like a cake. And he threw the sword on the ground and said, "Here, boy, add it to the chair."
Mm-hmm.
And then he walked out with his head held high.
And,
we didn't know
true,
where he
true Barristan Selmy fashion.
Always. We didn't know where he was gonna end up, but we know he left
will
there.
See him later.
We will see him much later, often. Again, Sansa speaks to the king and she begs for mercy for her father. Pycelle and Baelish egg on that Ned is treasonous. They continue to, and Baelish even asked her, do she agree that her father is a traitor? Yeah. That's when she was saying he had the milk of the poppy and he was injured. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't know what he was saying. The maester had him on all type of drugs, and she didn't believe that he believed what they saying. She didn't want to believe it about him, but she right there in front of him, she had to accept it at that point.
Yeah.
Joffrey asked her, why did Ned say that he wasn't the true king? Like, and he had this look on his face, like, why did he say that? Like, what's the reason, right? And Joffrey says, okay, Baelish and Pycelle and Varys, they egging on, what should happen, this and that. And he let us speak. He was like, I hear you, my lady. And as long as your father confesses to his being a traitor and bends the knee, no harm will come to him. Mm-hmm. And then they show Sansa in front of the Iron Throne in the scene in the episode.
Cool.
So we are going to jump right into it. Warning. First of its name podcast is not responsible for ruining Game of Thrones for you. Proceed with caution at your own risk. All right, you have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. This is the spoiler alert segment.
I was gonna mention the fact that you brought up Pycelle being an egger owner, if you will. Mm-hmm. Later on in the season, later on in the series, we see Jaime telling Brienne what happened at King's Landing during Robert's Rebellion. Mm-hmm. And Pycelle is the reason that the Lannisters was able to sack the city. Right. Because if you remember correctly, Jaime warned the king at the time, which was the Mad King, King Aerys Targaryen. He warned him on several occasions not to open the gates. Mm-hmm. Don't open the gates, but also to surrender peacefully. Right.
Yep.
And Pycelle was giving the king different advice. He was telling him the Lannisters have always been true, loyal friends to the crown. The
Mm-hmm.
Lannisters will always be good friends of the crown. And when King Aerys finally opened the gates for the Lannisters, Tywin Lannister sent his whole army in to sack the city.
Sack the city. Yep. So you're absolutely right. That integral insider, other than Jamie, because at the same time, Jamie was giving orders by Aries, right? No, the
Yeah,
other way around.
exactly.
Aries told Jamie to kill
Jamie was ordered to
Tywin,
come bring Tywin's head to the king.
bring his head to him. That's what it was. So Jamie was in a tough position at that point. And even with that, though, he still didn't kill him until he said burn them all. He wanted to burn millions of people in the city, and Jamie just couldn't take it. He wasn't willing to allow that to be it. It had nothing to do with taking the crown for one person or another. It was just to stop this madness.
And if you watch the episode with Daenerys when she burnt down all the King's Landing, you can see those caches of wildfire being burnt up throughout the city.
Exploded. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That made it that the dragon fire plus wildfire just made the whole situation way worse.
Yeah.
That's how come the half the city, half of the King's Landing, the Red Keep, all that shit was burnt. Plus, the throne room. Well, now it's got a sunroof and shit. Took the whole ceiling off and the walls off that motherfucker.
That motherfucker look like Harrenhal.
The dragon was able to come into the throne room, bro.
That bitch looked like Harrenhal.
Yeah, it looked looked just like Harrenhal, black and all, looked like charcoal briquettes.
Oh, my mom.
Memorial Day in that bitch. Damn, he roasted all.
Man, just imagine though if Khal Drogo was able to get those ships and head over to King's Landing. Wasn't nobody over there finna be able to stop him in a fight. Like,
nah.
I'm trying to see like who would have been able to beat Khal Drogo. Only person I can possibly think of is probably like the Mountain or somebody. And even
that's about it.
The Mountain probably a little too slow for him because Khal Drogo was fast
and quick and huge, and like, undefeated.
The only thing that defeated him was just the witch.
The damn god, the witch chick, the damn god's wife.
Wasn't nobody else able to whoop him, Joe. Like, this nigga was so cold. Like, I don't understand.
But imagine Khal Drogo still with the Dothraki when they arrived in Westeros with the 3 dragons and the Unsullied and the Second Sons. Oh man, come on.
You know what? Them two wouldn't have been able to. Them two wouldn't have been an issue. I'm sorry, a factor, because the Unsullied and the Second Sons, they didn't come till after she already. I'm sorry, the Unsullied was the first army she had. You know what I'm saying?
It was the Dothraki, wasn't it?
Mm-mm. She had a small Khalasar that was loyal to her through the whole time. But the Dothraki ain't get on her side until she conquered Meereen and got captured. And then, like, you remember, the bitch had to be on fire and the whole building was on fire.
Oh, when they sent her back to
to Vice Dothraki
with the wives. Exactly. Yeah, I forget what they call it.
She was supposed to stay in Vice Dothraki.
Right, but she didn't get the Unsullied till after that.
No, that was before that. She was already the queen.
Where were the Unsullied when? No, because remember, how did she end up getting snatched up? Because this is before she even knew the Second Sons as well, right? I'm confused a little.
Hold on. The first army she acquired was the Unsullied, because remember she traded her dragon for the Unsullied.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest dragon, which was Drogon, she traded him for the Unsullied. And
so the Second Sons came last.
Second Sons came second.
And then she went back and got the Dothraki, the Khalasar. Right. Okay.
And then she went back because the leader of the Second Sons, Dario Naharis, was on a mission with Jorah Mormont to go retrieve her from Vice Dothraki.
You right. Yeah. Yeah, because they snatched her up when she went. Who did she went to go talk to somebody?
No, the dragon saved her from the pit when the Sons of the Harpy was about to kill all of them in the Dance of the
Right.
Dragons,
That's later.
episode 9.
I'm talking about before she trapped all the motherfuckers in that hut and burned
Oh
that
yeah,
bitch down and
yeah,
then
yeah.
walked out of that motherfucker.
They
And
was
that's when she
deciding.
got the Khalasar.
They was deciding her fate.
Whether to keep her with all the wives of the dead cause.
Exactly.
There we go. And then she already had the Unsullied and Missane. She already had the dragon. Okay, you're right. Yeah. I was just confused because I was thinking like, damn, she had the Unsullied. How did she get captured? But she got captured because she went to go talk to another call, and they snatched her up. Like, you're not a Khaleesi no more.
Right.
You a widower.
Yeah. And after they found out that she was the wife of the late Khal Drogo, they told her that she had to go to Vace Dothrak with all the other dead Cal's wives.
Got you. And that's when she trapped them and tricked their ass and got them stuck in that.
Burnt all of them up.
Burnt all of them and then walked out. And that's when she got the Khalasar. That was the third.
That's when every Dothrakian was on her side.
Every single the entire Dothraki army. Yeah.
Because they follow power and they seen that this bitch is unburnt.
Right. But then she killed all their calls though.
Exactly. That too.
That was the second. The first part was that she walked out of that burning fire after hearing all of them scream and die. Then she walked out.
She just walked out like the queen she is.
And then she became the Khaleesi of all Dothraki.
Everybody.
There you go.
And then when they saw that dragon,
right?
Like, yeah, she the one.
That's
she the one.
That's Mama right there.
That's
the mother of dragons.
As soon as all the Khalasar was on her side, as soon as all the Dothraki was on her side, she went to go get the dragon and asked them what Khal Drogo had already promised her.
Right.
Remember? She was like, well, y'all come with me to Westeros and ride the wooden horses across the Salt Sea.
The Black Salt Sea. Yep, you're right. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Man, this shit's so raw, man. I swear to God. People don't even I hate the fact that everybody not watching this show.
Everybody. That's what I'm saying. It's still people that don't, even if they know about it, what is keeping you from diving in, jumping into it, and then it getting you like it got the rest of us. Then we can all talk about it. Like, what the fuck?
Like, I don't understand how you don't get hooked after seeing brother and sister having sex, and for them to keep their secret, they done tried to kill a little boy by pushing him out the window. How do you not get hooked after that?
And they mean not even just the fact that they had sex, they got 3 motherfucking kids.
3.
What? That's really the kicker part to me. And also, what I got here, the irony and acceptance of incest in House of the Dragon versus the rejection of incest in Game of Thrones. That's one of my notes I got here for the last couple weeks.
I can touch on that for a second, because the Targaryens were the first. I'm sorry, the Targaryens were the people that conquered Westeros, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after they conquered Westeros, they made all their own rules. Like,
right.
Before they came, before the Doom of Valyria and all of this stuff, it was kings in each kingdom. You got King Torrhen Stark. He was the king of the north.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got the king of the Stormlands. You got the king of what do you call it?
The Riverlands.
The Riverlands, Casterly Rock. They all had their own kings. And when
that's why it was individual kingdoms.
And when Aegon the Conqueror came over with his sister wives, because he had 2 sisters. One of them rode Vhagar, the other one rode, I forget the other dragon's name, man. It was 3 dragons that came and conquered Westeros. Vhagar, Balerion the Black Dread, and it was another one. I forget his name. I'm gonna get it to you though.
Right.
But those 3, the Balerion the Black Dread, obviously Aegon the Conqueror rode him, and his 2 sisters rode the other dragons, which was both of his wives.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came over, the rules was already set in place.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
I get you.
So shit, everybody from under him everybody down the line. When it come to Aries, the Mad King, whoever, all of them was engaged to somebody in their family.
Right, yeah, they were betrothed to each other just to keep the
Exactly.
blood
To
pure,
keep the
according to them.
bloodlines pure.
That's what it, according to them, that's where all that shit started. But it always was ironic to me, you know, to get through those episodes of the House of the Dragon after Game of Thrones. Damn. And to see how they incest. One, you know, and then in the other world it's so widely accepted. But I mean, that's a good point that they make the rules so that what's gonna be accepted is what we say go be accepted, basically.
We made the rules. Well, who gonna say something to me about my wife and my sister? I'm the king.
Right. Yeah, I'm the king, and I got dragons. And shut the fuck up. This is what we do.
And I got dragons.
And you can't have none of this to Targaryen pussy.
None
of
all it's all
not community
mine,
pussy.
Man. That's like they like male lions in the pride.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They fucking everybody.
All right, they fucking everybody that's around because he is the top dog. Well, cat in that instance, but still, yeah.
You know, man. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was so surprised when I saw this little boy reading this book, man.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I was like, what is, because I saw the cover of the book and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what did you read, man? He was like, oh, this is Game of Thrones. Just so casual. Like, it's just, you know,
normal. Like he reading Curious George or some shit.
12-year-old to be reading this book and shit. Like, I'm looking like, damn, yo, ain't no teacher gonna say nothing about the curriculum in this book. Like, they don't know Game of Thrones. I know some teachers in here know Game of Thrones.
Right. They got to know the content. Shit, they banning books left and right that talk about all type of shit.
But I guess, you know, and then I asked him what his favorite characters was, or his favorite character. He was like Tyrion and Daenerys. I was like, damn, oh, wow. Okay.
He know the quality of the characters. You got damn right.
Okay, there's some good characters to have on your side, especially in the first beginning of the books. You know what I mean?
And he just gonna have an entirely different viewpoint reading the books before seeing the series.
Completely different.
They always say that's best, just so you can understand the source material and the canon that where it originally comes from, and then the adaptation to the screen, whether it's a film or a television series. It's always cool to see that.
Man, Joe, I don't understand this. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but I've been having my phone sitting here charging this whole time. When we first started, my phone was on 24%. My phone is on 7% right now. I have no idea how shit is going backwards. And it got the fucking charge icon on there.
Well, shit, your phone is
it's being
in hospice, nigga. Your phone needs to go to it's in hospice now. Hospice mean ready to die, nigga. You better make some funeral arrangements and get them obituary right, nigga. It's time.
Man, G, it's going down. Like, I don't understand this.
You gotta go at least to a 13 plus.
Yeah, no, I'm finna get it. We finna all get new phones in a minute. That we just got a whole new plan and everything. So that's what I've been waiting on. Remember, I was telling you I was waiting on this.
Right, I know you said that, but what company y'all with?
Xfinity.
Oh, you got the cell phones through the Xfinity?
No, we didn't get them yet. We just changed providers.
Oh, so you changed from another one to now Xfinity.
Mm-hmm. And then,
okay.
In like maybe a month, we're gonna get all new cell phones. I think the 16.
Right. Yeah, I'm finna upgrade my sons. I'm gonna upgrade my. I'm gonna add an extra line to my phone, and then get my son a nice one, a 14 or 15 plus.
Hell yeah.
I just had to shit and to add a line is not bad. It ain't like it's doubling up. It's only really be like 170 for two phones.
Oh, that ain't bad at all. Shit.
At all. Nigga, I'm paying 107 right now, just me.
170, two devices? That's decent.
Two iPhone. Yeah, mine are 14 plus.
I was paying like 120 just for me.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I
Yeah,
say
man.
107 added on top. It put the insurance together because
Man,
it's one account.
that's an amazing deal, if you ask me.
Verizon.
With Verizon?
With Verizon. And the phone I got, the 13 Pro Max I got, or the plus whatever Max I got, was
Bro, Verizon
80% off.
The most expensive company out there, man.
I caught them, bro. This is what I did. I went on Verizon. I went on T-Mobile, AT&T, and then what I did, I created an account, so it's linked to an email and a phone number, and then I go shopping. Right, I go to a cart. I go put shit in my cart, and then I leave it. And then I wait for them to say, "You got this shit sitting in your cart. Do you still want it?" And I ignore that message, and then they'll send me another message and say, "How about half off? You still want it?" I'm like, I don't know. And then the one when I went, and that happened to AT&T and T-Mobile, but they was fucking around. They want me to pay money up front. Well, it ain't a discount if I got to pay a down payment. You feel me? So I did the same shit with Verizon, and $1,099 is what my phone costs. They took $879.99 off the fucking price of the phone just to get me to sign up, nigga.
So that's like what, $300 left?
$230 total.
Nice. Yeah.
And I'm only paying, I pay $7 a month, but the kicker to it, I can't pay the phone off.
And you got to just keep doing
I got to stay in the 2-year plan that they got for me, because if I pay it off, they go discount. They go take off the discount and charge me the full $10.99.
Hey, look, I keep paying. Don't even worry about it.
There ain't no thing, because the funny part about it is when I was just telling you I'm going to upgrade my sons, because me and my lady both got iPhones, new iPhones and shit for this same way. I told her about it, and she did it like, shit, I think it's damn near been a year. I don't forget when we first got these phones.
Yeah.
And
damn, G, I don't understand this. Shit keep going down.
What, your phone? Yeah, your shit go die, bro. We need to get off here.
It just keep going down and it's charging. I don't get that.
It's the processor and I mean, technically, if it's what is it, a SR, SE, XE or some shit? It ain't a number phone.
I don't even know.
It ain't a number phone, right?
Yeah, I don't even think it's like no 12 or 13 or no shit like that.
If you didn't do the upgrade, or if you did the update rather, in the software, they tamped all that down. So the access that they give your phone to meet the optimal charging power, they probably tamper it down. Every time a new phone come out, they do that, bro. Okay. That's why you can't be if you really fucking with iPhones, I see, you can't be more than 2 behind.
Got you.
Yep.
Well, let's go on and end it, man, real quick. Just give it a little, you know what I'm saying, a little touch up on the ending. Well, this has been episode 8, the Pointy End. I have been your host, Sheldon Calhoun, aka Lord Sheldon.
And I am your co-host, Antonio Scott, aka Sir Tone Roy.
Hey, and that's what it is.
And that's what it's gonna be.
My man. Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thank
you. Love you, brother.
Please continue to subscribe to our pages, man. Scocios Entertainment on YouTube. Check out my boy Roy Tone on Facebook, Instagram, any platform. Check me out at Sheldon Calhoun 95 on all platforms, man. Y'all continue to holler at us, man. Peace out.
Yes, sir. And check out Calhoun Studios on YouTube. Sheldon Calhoun will be posting more of the podcast on Calhoun Studios. So y'all go on over there, check it out. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Jump in the comments and let us know what you think. And we go see y'all on the flip. Peace.